Hello everyone, I'm starting a new series today about the source of Minyan. There's no question that Minyan takes up much of our life, but not everyone knows the source of it, and I believe we can learn a lot from where the source comes from. An open Gemara in Masechet Brachot, Daf Kaf Aleph Amud Bet says, Minayin she'ena yachid omer kedusha. How do you know that when you daven alone you can't say kedusha? Shene'emar, because it says in a pasuk that we read it 3 times a year. We read it in Parshat Emor, we read it on the first day or first 2 days of Sukkot, we read it on the second day of Pesach. V'nikdashti betoch b'nei Yisrael. I shall be sanctified, kedusha from the word sanctity, I shall be sanctified within the children of Israel. Kol davar shebekdusha lo yeh pachot me'asara. Any part of davening which is labeled as a davar shebekdusha can only be said in a minyan. And indeed, the Mishnah in Megillah, Perek Dalet, Mishnah Gimel, delineates many things that can only be done in a minyan. The Chazan gets up there and says Baruch Hu only if there's a minyan. He cannot say Chazarat Hashatz unless there's a minyan. Duchening, reclaiming, the Haftorah, and saying a zimun with 10 people and inserting the word Elokeinu has to be with at least 10 people. This is repeated in various places. For example, the Gemara in Masechet Megillah on that Mishnah, Daf Kav Gimel Amud Bet says, the Amar Kra v'nikdashti betoch b'nei Yisrael, kol davar shebikdusha lo yeh pachot me'asara. Any part of the service that needs a minyan is, for our purposes, labeled a davar shebikdusha, a holy aspect of davening. And because of its holiness, it's not enough to say it, but you have to say it within a group of a minyan. And that's the way the Shulchan Aruch paskins, omrim kaddish, ve'en omrim oto pachot me'asara scharim b'nei chorin gedolim. You have to have 10 people to say kaddish above the age of 13 and men. Ve'hu adin l'kedusha baruch hu, she'en ne'marin pachot mipachot ba'asara. And the same thing goes for kedusha and baruch hu. And the Mishnah Bura adds on that this is true for any element of davening that needs a minyan. He brings Kaddish, Kedusha, Baruch Hu, Kriyas HaTorah, Duchening, as well as Chazarat Hashatz. All these things need a minyan. Here is my question. What's the source of this? Where did we get to this magic number 10? On this level, we have 2 sources, the Bavli and the Yerushalmi. Gemara in Megillah says we learned this from a double Gzeirah Shavah. A Gzeirah Shavah means the same term appears in one place and in another place, and we deduce things from them. In this case, it's a double. Number 1. Atja toch toch. Ne ktiv hacha v'nigdashti betoch b'nei Yisrael v'chtiv hatam hibadlu mitoch ha'ida. It says in that pasuk, and I shall be sanctified within mitoch, the Jewish people. And it says regarding the rebellion of Korach that God offered Moshe, he badlu, separate yourselves from this Ada. Well, since it says mitoch there and mitoch there, the Gemara says, well, we got ourselves a ball game. And now, since it says there the word Ada, we know what Ada means, because that same term Ada actually is in another place in the Torah. It says Ada regarding this mitoch, this group of people in the Korach rebellion, and it also says Ada regarding the sin of the spies. Ad matai la Ada hara'ah hazot. And there, says the Gemara, it means 10 people, namely the 10 spies that Moshe sent, with the exception of Yehoshua and Kalev that did not sin. Thus, we have a ball game, a double Gzeirah Shavah to prove that it's 10. This is repeated in Masechet Brachot, not with all the elaboration, but the beginning of it is repeated. Toch toch, ktiv hacha v'nikdashti b'toch b'nei Yisrael v'chtiv tavta mibadlu mitoch ha'ida azot malahalan asara avkan asara. In the Yerushalmi, this is brought as well, not in the same elaboration as Maseches Megillah, but yes, with regard to the word Eidah, Ne'emar Kanida v'ne'emar Lahala Neidah, Matai Laida Ra'azot, Ma'ida Amura Lahanasarav Kanasara. So the word Eidah, according to the Gemara in the Bavli and one day on the Yerushalmi, means 10 people. Just in case you didn't get this, in Mesechet Sanhedrin, the first page, it says in Daf Bet Amud Bet, U'menayin leida shehi asara, shene'emar, ad matai leida hara'a hazot, yatzu Yehoshua v'Kalev. Take Yehoshua v'Kalev out of the 12 spies, you got yourself 10. Eidah means 10, and therefore minyan means 10. And this is repeated in various places, and this seems to be what most people say. The Kesef Mishneh, who wrote the Shulchan Aruch afterwards, says, Shekol Asaram Yisrael Nikreim Eidah. The Mishnah Brura says, Uvainan Asara L'chol Davar Shebikdusha, bringing what we just said, Yatzu Yehoshua v'Kalev, Nisharu Asara v'Korin Eidah. However, there's another perspective in the Yerushalmi. And the Yerushalmi says, yes, we learn it from this word toch, and toch, v'nigdashti betoch b'nei Yisrael. And there's that word toch somewhere else, but not where you think. Not with the sin of the spies, but rather, vayavo b'nei Yisrael ishpor bar betoch habayim, ki haya hara'av be'eretz Canaan. The 10 brothers went down to Egypt during the famine, sent by their father Yaakov, and indeed it says there, betoch, ma toch ha'amur lahalan asarav kanasara. We're talking about the 10 brothers of Yosef, who went down to Egypt, not knowing that he's there, and that's where we learn it from. Amar Rav Yossi Bebei Rabbanun, imitoch yalifla sagininun. If that's what your source is, I will cast a demonstration. I don't like your source. Ella, let's learn it from a different part of that pasuk. It says v'niktashti betoch b'nei Yisrael. Let's learn it from the word b'nei Yisrael, but same pasuk. It says b'nei Yisrael regarding vayavo b'nei Yisrael lishbor bar betoch habayim. They came to get food, the children of Israel. And once again, the Yerushalmi says either you learn it from Toch or Bnei Yisrael, but you learn it not from the spies that Moshe sent. You learn it from the 10 brothers that went down to Egypt to get food during the famine. This is repeated in the Yerushalmi in Maseches Megillah Dalet Halacha Dalet in the name of Rabbi Simon. And as we could see, we have 2 sources for a minyan. One is one of the biggest sins that ever happened in the desert, either the rebellion of Korach together with the sin of the spies. And the other, I would say, a neutral part of our history, the brothers going down and getting food for their families back in Israel during the famine, during the life of Yosef. Everyone agrees the magic number is 10, but they disagree on the source. Is it from the sin of the spies and the rebellion of Korach? Or is it the brothers of Yosef and Sefer Bereshit? What does it make a difference to us? More about that in the next podcast.